What a pleasure it is now to welcome in Paul Hughes, who was a massive fight booked for the Cage Warriors trilogy, which obviously starts on the 30th of September all the way through to the 2nd. He's going to be fighting Morgan Charriere finally for the Cage Warriors interim featherweight title. Paul, big news. I know you've been waiting for this for a long time. First of all, my man, how's everything with you? You keeping well?
Fantastic, mate. Yeah, cannot complain. Everything's just coming together here for me, so it's all good in the head. I'm just finished the wee session there, so yeah, I'm feeling good, mate. Excited.
Paul, this is a huge fight, and we spoke about you spoke about, should I say, your sort of distaste for Morgan Charriere a number of months ago when we were chatting on the Bash podcast. Myself and Pete were doing that. This has come around at a good time for you. Obviously, you're supposed to fight Jordan. He was supposed to fight Jordan. That fight was pulled. He got injured, but now you're getting the shot against Morgan. You've wanted this for quite some time, man, haven't you?
Yeah, mate. Like, I've been calling for this fight with Morgan since March of last year, the last time that there was actually fans in the arena. So, I mean, that was only, I think, my second fight for Cage Warriors. I knew the fight was going to happen at some point. I knew that I was going to the top of the division straight away, and I knew it would just be a big fight, and it's a perfect fight for me. So, yeah, I've been calling for this, as I say, well over a year now. Every fight, you see me now jumping on the top of a cage, calling them out. So it is what it is. I am very excited to get in there.
You said, and you said in that interview with us that you felt Morgan was, very much overrated, and, you didn't really believe in the hype behind him. You still obviously very much think that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he sort of got, I wouldn't say found out a little bit in the last fight, but I mean, I've been calling him born for a year and a half, and I think his last fight sort of proved that. I think that he was really trying to stall out rounds. I don't think that he was fighting to win. I really don't believe that. I would think he was fighting not to get tired and to just edge out rounds. I truly believe that, and yeah, I think I'm just going to put the pace on him and expose him a little bit. I think that he's not ready for a hard 5-round fight with myself. I just don't think he's ready for that. So excited.
Yeah, you mentioned that fight. How did you score that fight between him and Jordan last time, mate?
I mean, at the time, I definitely thought Jordan got it. Still think that he did deserve the win. He was coming after him. He was setting the pace. And as mentioned, Morgan was sort of just trying to stall out rounds. And I just don't like to see that in a championship fight. I think you need to be laying it all on the line there. I think when he caught Jordan a couple of strikes, he thought, right, I'm going to clinch here and maybe hold and maybe I'll get this round. I don't think that's the way to fight championship fights. I don't think that's how you become the best fighter in the world. And that's what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to go in there and get myself tired in the third, fourth, and break him towards the end of the fight. So, yeah, I think Jordan definitely deserved the decision, but it was close. I mean, like,
do you think he tries to play it safe, Morgan?
Absolutely, he tries to play it safe. Absolutely. I think when he lands some strikes, then he's automatically thinking, right, either take a back seat here, take some of the round off, or get a clinch and hold. And that will just not be happening against me. I mean, like, any fight that I've had in my career has just been to the death. Like, I leave it all in there. Even in the last 10 seconds when I hear that clapper gone, I'm letting it all go, and I will be doing that come October. So, very excited, mate.
How challenging has the last few months been for you, Paul? Because obviously, that fight fell out. I think you're expecting a turnaround a couple of months ago after that fight was supposed to take place. Has it been tough? Has it been tough to sort of maintain your level of calm in training and not get overexcited, not overexert yourself? What have the emotions been like the last few months?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I'm not gonna lie. I'd say this has been some of the most trying times in my career, and that's including the 2-year injury spell that I had. I'm happy to put that out there because at the end of the day, this adversity is something that always just sets me times 10 where I want to go. So, I mean, I had a shoulder injury for one period, and it had me out for 6 weeks. That was the worst of it. But for me, 6 weeks is such a long time. And it was probably one of the most frustrating injuries that I had because I was incredibly limited to what I could do. So it'll be what? It'll be almost 6 months since the last fight. So it's I don't know if it's been a long or a short 6 months, but I mean I've grown so much as a person, and I think that everything has just aligned in the perfect time for me, and everything that happened was supposed to happen. Do you know what I mean? So it's just set me in a perfect position here for 6 weeks to the fight, and I'm sitting here ready to go. Like, I'm chomping at the bit, missing out one show for the first time in Cage Warriors since I signed. So that little bit of extra, I wouldn't say rest, but that extra, like, I can't wait to get in there and do 5 fights. That's how I'm feeling right now. So very excited.
Do you feel as though, and I wanted to throw you this question because, I've said it for a long, long time. I wouldn't say underappreciated, but maybe are you a little bit? Do you feel as though compared to some of the other guys, obviously Ian Gary, and Ian deserved all the plaudits. He's gone on to the UFC now. He totally deserved it. But I felt as though like maybe you weren't getting the credit you deserve for how actually good you are, maybe in the public circles and maybe from the promotion. Would that be fair to say? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that would be fair to say. I mean, like, I am not a jealous person at all, like in any way. I think if you even follow me on social media, you know how much I'm always just trying to support people, to plug other fighters, other friends, because I am genuinely a fan of these people. Like, I have no problem saying that. So I'm really not like a jealous person. Like, I love when other people are having their success. I mean, like, I sort of had them feelings after my last fight. I actually had the weirdest month after my last fight there in terms of emotions, because for the first time I actually wasn't happy after a fight. Even when I had the fight with Jordan, I knew that I won, and I knew that I had left everything in there, so I was happy. And although I still left everything in there with James, like in March, for the first time I came out of that fight and was sort of feeling like that wasn't good enough. Like, I need to up my game here. But as I said, that sort of stuff just drives me. That drives me to go beyond here. So, yeah.
I think that obviously, what you just said there, it obviously, it plays into your mindset of how unhappy you are if you feel like you're stagnating. Is that sort of the case, that you just always want to do more?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the situation also after the James fight was, of course, Jordan got the decision over Morgan, and I was just assuming that I'd be next. And then when I got the word that they were doing the rematch, honestly, I was like getting a stab in the heart.
Yeah, because I remember texting you.
I deserved that. I felt like I've earned it. I've fought the best. I felt like it was earned, and to sort of just get the news that you're not getting the shot in June, it's going to be after that. I was just like, oh my God, like, it was just a real shit feeling, really, really shit feeling. But I mean, like, everything has just aligned again perfectly for me. So
yeah,
like, I can't say it.
I think it sort of adds more fuel to the fire, and I was speaking to you off air there that maybe it's a good thing, maybe in the long term for you, that this little bit of adversity has happened so fresh in your mixed martial arts career. But talking about the Jordan fight, we spoke about off air. I've publicly said it. I've said it on podcast that I feel conclusively you won that fight 2 rounds to 1. I'm not shitting on Jordan. Like, that's generally the way I feel about the fight. I know you feel that way, but in some aspects now, with that, everything that's come after that, do you think you've the measure of these guys now in the division?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, at the end of the day, like, I beat Jordan. Like, do you know what I mean? I beat the so-called champ, like, who's Bader Chapa. I'm not going to do MMA maths, but I've competed at the top level. It's not like I'm taking a big jump up here. Do you know what I mean? I fought the champ already and beat him. Do you know what I mean? So I don't feel like I'm taking a jump here at all. Like, if anything, I've just had a little bit more time to get better with that, sitting that last show out. So, like, it's 6 weeks to go, and I am just chomping at the bit here, and I just can't wait to put a clinic in this guy.
I don't think we've seen half your ability yet either. That's the scary thing, which I believe, because, you said you were disappointed with the James Hennon fight. I thought, every time I look at you, I see a more polished performance. All-round game is just superb, in my opinion. But we haven't seen anything yet, I believe, personally, from Paul Hughes.
No, absolutely not. And that's one of the reasons why I was actually sort of pissed off after my last fight, because I remember it was just too close. It didn't need to be that close. Do you know what I mean? I could have comfortably won every round if I just didn't. The thing with me is I love a scrap. So sometimes when I get in there, it's just like, oh, now you can let the hands go, you can scrap. But whenever I was doing that and getting caught in these exchanges, that was the only time that I was getting caught. Other than that, I wasn't getting touched. And in the grappling aspect, I was absolutely dominating. So I've made them adjustments. I must say that last fight is one of the fights that I've learned the most from. How to sort of game plan mentally going in, and then of course physically when I'm in there, playing to my strengths and not playing to his strengths. So I mean, it's all part of the journey.
Yeah, interesting you said that, because I wanted to bring this up with you, and I saw your post. Obviously, you've a creative team with you at the moment. You've a guy following you out your vlogs, but it was actually very interesting, and what you said there in relation to what you've just said 2 seconds ago. I might just play it here. I think I have it up here, and just get your reaction to it. Does this, the question asked is, does this fit in with what you were just saying there? Maybe you find it tough to get going in the opening stages of a fight.
You know what I mean? You are gassed from the third rep, and you just have to control your breathing, control the lactate, control your stride, just to get through the rest of the reps. There's the thing about a fight that's sort of hard to emulate in training as well is it's the end of the first round. It's that lactate all over your body. It's your breathing. It's your it's that sort of feeling that it's hard to sort of get in training, because you're never going at fight pace, regardless of what training. You're never sparring 100% like a fight. And even if you were sparring what you think is hard, it's still not what a fight is. You know what I mean? A fight is fight or flight, really. Like, your body's going 100%.
Really good piece. I think you should check out Paul's channel there as well. The link's on his Instagram. But is that sort of what you're alluding there? Have you found it maybe difficult to control the emotions early on in fights, Paul?
I mean, I don't think I have a problem controlling the emotions. I think it's literally just a case of my last fight overthrowing shots a little bit. And like, I just made, straight after the fight, when I watched it back and was like, right, well, that doesn't need to happen. And the thing about that I took from the last fight is, like, I think I'm built for 5 rounds. I mean, like, in that third round, I was fresh as a daisy, and James was about to be finished towards the end. Like, I heard him gasping for air. I heard him literally gasping when I was on top of him, hitting them shots. And I remember just getting up, and I celebrated, but I remember just thinking, like, I wish that was another round so I could have just finished him and put a clinic on him. So, yeah, training's hard, like, but I am so excited for the 5s. Yeah,
listen, man, I can't wait for this fight. I think it's one of the best fights, if not the best, I think Cage Warriors have put on all year. When you look at Morgan, right, just the last thing on Morgan before I want to ask you a couple of other things, Paul. When you look at him, you really want to finish this guy, don't you? I get that feeling as well, that maybe, as you just said there, you're not satisfied, that you would like to rake up a few more finishes in Cage Warriors before you go on to the UFC. I think you're eager and determined to make a massive, massive statement here. Just from the things you said, in terms, I agree with you. I don't think you've been maybe appreciated enough. And you've seen other guys around you, maybe get the plaudits that they deserve. I'm not saying that. But it's lit some fire, obviously, all the adversity as well over the last sort of 12 months.
Yeah, 100%, mate, 100%. Like, I mean, of course I'm coming for that finish. Like, as mentioned there, I think I'm only getting going towards the third round. So I'm just so excited to get into the depths of hell in the 4th and 5th and see if he can survive there, because there will be no stalling in my fight. When have you ever seen stalling in my fight?
Never.
So, yeah, it's just so exciting, mate. It's so exciting.
I can't wait for it. We mentioned Ian Gary there. Obviously, that must sort of spur you on as well. I know you're close with Ian, him signing for the UFC. Obviously, unfortunate what happened with his team and that fallout. But that must be big inspiration for you as well. As you said, I know you're a humble guy and you love to see your other friends do well. But that must be inspiring, being so close with Ian.
Yeah, 100%. Like, to be there with him as well when he lifted the belt was awesome. That was an amazing experience. Not only with Ian, obviously with Joe in the same trilogy. So
Fat Joe.
I've been there. I must say that was probably Fat Joe, of course, mate. I must say that was probably one of the best weekends I've ever had in my life. like I swear to God, the high and that I felt for a full week or two after that was just amazing. But yeah, of course, I'm inspired by the likes of Ian going and moving on. I mean, I think that was a no-brainer. I think it had to be done. I think he was the best guy in the division by far. I don't think he had much other tests for him in the division. So, of course, the smart move was then to move on to the UFC if the offer was there, which it was. And I believe Ian will be the UFC champion. I really do. Do you
genuinely believe that?
I genuinely do believe that. 100%. I can see it. I can see the mindset. Do you know what I mean? I can relate to him in that level where like it's tunnel vision. That's all he wants. He wants to be the UFC world champion. The same as myself. We've had conversations about this, and I truly do believe that he's got the potential to be a UFC world champion. And not only, I mean soon as well. I mean in the next 5 years.
Wow. Look
at this come up. Look at it. Like,
yeah, it's been nothing short of sensational. I think, as someone who's covered the sport for years and looking on, and I see sort of the second wave, the second crop. You guys, Joe McColgan, obviously Ian Gary and Rhys McKee, for example, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited about the next sort of 12 months, especially I think for Irish mixed martial arts, what Cage Warriors have done yet again, and what you guys have done. But I feel for you in particular, and I've been saying this for quite some time, that this, especially after everything we've just talked about, the adversity, this is going to be a really big 12 months for you. I see you within the UFC in 12 months, in my personal opinion. Is that the aim? Is that the goal?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, I've said it before. I said it in the same interview in March 2020 when I called out Born Chapa. I said, I'm going to be the featherweight champion. And I said, I'm going to be the Cage Warriors featherweight champion. That's a done deal. That's already up here. That's exactly what I said. That was a year and a half ago before I was even fighting these top contenders, fighting for world titles. So that's something that I believe deep in my being, that I have for years. And I believe that is, honestly, not to get too woo-woo here, but this is my destiny. This is what my life is going to be. And I'm willing to do whatever I need to do to get there, whether that be 10 years more of the grind to be the UFC world champion. I don't mind, but I honestly think that I'll be in the UFC in the next 6 months, not even 12 months. I take out Chapa here in October, take out Jordan to unify the belt in December. I mean, I've cleared out the whole division. I'm 10-0.
You've it all mapped out in your mind already.
I've got it all mapped out, mate, and everything's just aligned at this perfect time as well. Also signing with Paradigm Management Company.
Yeah, congratulations. How did that come about, by the way? That's obviously a big acquisition for them, and it's great for you also as well.
Yeah, it's amazing, mate. I must say, it's one of it was like a real nice thing to happen in my career, especially at this time, and it just sort of gave me that
boost,
that kick. That boost that Paul, you're in the right direction. Like, these higher ups, they see it. Do you know what I mean? It's not just regional. They see it. They see it on a world stage. So I actually met Tim in Bahrain when I was over
Simpson,
there.
yeah. Tim's a good dude.
Tim, great guy. So sound, mate. And I remember just seeing him out traveling about, going from freaking one side of the world to the other, to where his fighters are competing. I remember seeing that and going, that's really admirable what he's doing. And funny enough, I actually ran into him then in Bahrain. We had a chat, got him on Instagram, and from there we just sort of kept in contact the whole time. And then recently we sort of decided to develop the talks, and as of now I'm now signed to Paradigm, so I'm absolutely buzzing with that, and yeah, everything's aligning.
Paul, what age are you?
I'm 24.
24. You're a man above your years, definitely in my opinion. Listen, one last one for you. We mentioned it there off air. You've a big travelling Irish crowd heading over to support you in York Hall in London for this fight. Who's going over? Big crowd?
100%, mate. 100%. As soon as we get this announced, shit's gonna get crazy. Like, I mean, like, when's the last time people have got to travel to an MMA event?
Exactly.
I mean, it's not just friends and fam going over now. Like, it's if you're an Irish MMA fan, like, you're probably gonna want to be at Cage Warriors. Like, it's gonna be a special event, mate. I think I'll sell the place out, to be honest. I think it's got the potential to be a really, really historic night and the start of something special for me.
I totally agree. I think it's going to be an absolute barn burner of a fight. I can't wait for it. Right, I just have to ask you anyway. How you've talked about the mindset division. How do you see this one panning out What's the exact details? I want a precise pick for this fight, Paul.
4th or 5th now. 4th or 5th, I break him. We're scrambling.
Is that what you want to do this, though? You want to bring him into deep waters, and then you just want to fling him around and control him, and then you want to sort of teach this guy a lesson, I feel. That's the way I'm looking at this.
I live in the deep waters. You know what I mean? I don't train to keep up with the fire. I am the fire. And Morgan's going to see that. I'm going to break him in the 4th or 5th. And look, I'm willing to get myself unbelievably tired just to make him break. And I honestly feel that that's going to be the way this fight's going to go. I'm going to make that statement, and Jordan's getting in after that.
Paul, I want this fight to happen next week. I'm that excited now after you just said that. Listen, man, it's been great to catch up with you again. I'm delighted things are working out for you. You've worked so hard and you deserve this. And as I said, I always appreciate you stopping by and having a chat. Best of luck, Paul. Appreciate it, my friend.
Nah, legend. Thank you so much, mate.
If you want to see more videos like this, do hit the subscribe button and also the notification button so you don't miss any future updates. You can also catch us on social media and also give the video a thumbs up. It does help. Thanks, guys.